They say if you ever find yourself riding a bus alone on Route 66 after midnight and the driver refuses to stop, don't look at the empty seats behind you, because they might not be empty anymore. I didn't even mean to take that bus. My car broke down outside a dying little town somewhere along Route 6, one of those places with a single flickering gas station and a diner that looked like it hadn't seen customers since the 90s. No signal, no help. Then I saw it, a bus. Old, long, painted in faded gray with no company logo, just a number scratched near the front. 66. It pulled up like it had been expecting me. The door hissed open. The driver didn't say a word. I hesitated. "You headed east?" I asked. No response. Just a slow nod. That should have been my first warning, but it was cold. I was stranded, and the road stretched empty 4 miles. So yeah, I stepped on. The inside of the bus felt wrong. Too quiet. No music. No chatter. Just the low hum of the engine and the faint creak of metal. There were maybe 6 people scattered across the seats, all sitting alone, all staring forward. No one looked at me. I took a seat halfway down. The second I sat, the bus doors slammed shut, and we started moving. At first, it felt normal. The road rolled by outside endless desert, broken by the occasional dead billboard or rusted car shell. I tried checking my phone. No signal. Of course, after about 10 minutes, I noticed something. No one had moved, not even a little. No shifting. No coughing. No phone scrolling. Just still. I leaned slightly into the aisle, trying to catch someone's eye. "Hey," I said quietly. "You guys know how far this goes?" Nothing. Not even a blink. That's when I looked toward the driver. Something about him felt off. His posture was stiff. Too stiff, like he was locked in place, hands gripping the wheel at the exact same angle, not adjusting, not reacting. Just driving. A chill ran down my spine. Then ding. The sound of a stop request, but no one had pressed the button. I looked around. Everyone was still sitting, still staring forward. The bus didn't slow down, didn't even hesitate, just kept going. "Hey!" I called out. Someone rang. Before I could finish, a voice behind me whispered, "They always do that." I froze. Slowly, I turned around. A man was sitting in the seat directly behind me. I swear to God he wasn't there before. His face looked pale, tired, like he hadn't slept in days. "You're new," he said quietly. My throat went dry. "Yeah, I guess." He gave a small, almost sad smile. "They always pick up new ones." "What do you mean?" I asked. Before he could answer, the bus slowed. It came to a stop in the middle of nowhere. No lights, no buildings. Just darkness, stretching in every direction. The doors opened. Hiss. No one got off. No one moved. Then suddenly, a figure stepped onto the bus. I didn't see where they came from. There was nothing outside, but now they were inside. They walked slowly down the aisle, head down, face hidden. As they passed each passenger, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The passengers weren't breathing. Not a single rise of the chest. Not a blink. Not a twitch. They weren't people. Not anymore. The figure stopped near me, then moved past. Took a seat near the back. The doors shut. The bus started moving again. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. I turned back to the man behind me. What the hell's going on? Primera whispered. He looked at me. And for the first time, I noticed something horrifying. His reflection in the window wasn't moving. "You don't remember?" he asked softly. "Remember what?" I said, my voice shaking. He leaned closer. "You weren't supposed to get on the bus," he said. My mind dress said, "What are you talking about?" "You were already on the road," he continued, "before the bus. And then it hit me. The sound. The headlights. The horn. A flash of memory slammed into my head like a truck. I was driving. Late. Tired. And then a bus came out of nowhere. I didn't stop in time. The impact. Metal crushing. Glass shattering. Darkness. I gasped. "No," Primera whispered. The man nodded slowly. "This isn't a ride," he said. "It's the last trip." My chest tightened. Last trip. Where? He didn't answer. Instead, he pointed ahead. I looked toward the front of the bus, and for the first time I saw the driver clearly. His face. It wasn't human. It was hollow empty. Like a burned-out shadow shaped into a man. And his eyes were staring directly at me through the mirror. Ding. Another stop request. The bus began to slow again, but this time everyone stood up. All at once. Every passenger, their heads turned toward me. Slowly. In unison. And then they started walking down the aisle. Tolworth. Me. "You stayed on too long." The man behind me whispered. "What happens now?" I asked, barely able to breathe. He didn't reply. Because suddenly, he was gone. His seat empty. Just like the others had been, the figures kept coming closer. Step. 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 I tried to move. Tried to stand, but my body wouldn't respond. It felt like I was sinking into the seat, like something was pulling me down. The bus stopped. The doors opened, and one by one, the passengers walked off into the darkness, until it was just me and the driver. Silence filled the bus. Then the driver spoke. "For the first time, you missed your stop." My heart stopped. "What?" "Stop," Primera whispered. The driver slowly turned his head. "You were supposed to get off when you died." The doors slammed shut. The bus started moving again. Faster this time. The road outside was gone. Just darkness. Endless. No. 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 Stop. Let me off. The driver didn't respond. The number 66 above him flickered. Then, change. 67? I felt something cold wrap around my arm. I looked down a hand. Gray. Rotting. Gripping me. Then another. And another. From the empty seats. They weren't empty anymore. They were reaching for me. Pulling me back. Dragging me into the darkness of the bus. I screamed. But no sound came out. And the last thing I saw, before everything went black, was my own reflection in the window. Sitting still, not breathing, waiting for the next passenger. Because the bus doesn't stop on Route 66. If you're ever driving alone on Interstate 80 past midnight, and you see the same hitchhiker twice, don't stop the second time. Because by then, it's already too late. I wasn't supposed to be on that road. It was 2:13 a.m. when I merged onto I-80, cutting through a long, dead stretch of highway somewhere between Nevada and nowhere. My GPS had glitched out an hour earlier, freezing on a blank screen, so I was driving blind, just following the road. No radio, no signal, just engine noise. And that feeling, you know the one, like you're not alone, even when you should be. That's when I saw him. A figure on the shoulder of the road, hood up, thumb out, standing completely still. Primera, slowed down. Not because I wanted to, but because something about him felt off. He wasn't waving, wasn't moving, just standing there like he'd been waiting a long time. I rolled down the window slightly. "You need a ride," I called out. He stepped closer, slow, unnatural, like his joints didn't quite work right. "Yeah," he said. His voice was low. Come. Just up the road. Primera, hesitate. Every warning about hitchhikers ran through my mind, but then again, it's America. People do this. It's normal, right? So I unlocked the door. Big mistake. He got in without a word. Didn't thank me. Didn't look at me. Just sat there, facing forward. I glanced at him. Pale skin. Almost gray. His hoodie looked damp, like he'd been standing in rain, but it hadn't rained in hours. "Where are you headed?" I asked. "Just keep driving," he said. That was it. Just keep driving. We drove in silence for about 10 minutes. The road stretched endlessly ahead. No other cars in sight. I kept checking the rearview mirror, half expecting to see headlights. But there was nothing, just darkness. Then he spoke again. "You ever feel like you've been here before?" I frowned. "What?" "This road," he said. "Feels familiar, doesn't it?" I didn't answer. Because yet did, but I didn't know why. Another 5 minutes passed, then suddenly, "Stop here." I slammed the brakes. "There's nothing here," I said, looking around. "Just empty desert. No buildings. No lights. This is where I get off." Before I could respond, he opened the door and stepped out. No goodbye. No explanation. Just gone. I watched him in the mirror as he walked into the darkness and disappeared. I sat there for a second, trying to process what just happened. Then I shook it off. "Creepy dude," I muttered, and hit the gas. I drove for maybe another 15 minutes. That's when I saw him again. Same spot on the road. Same posture. Same hoodie. Thumb out. Waiting. My stomach dropped. "No way," I whispered. Primera slowed down. Heart pounding. It had to be someone else. Right. Just coincidence? Same clothes. Same build, it happens. But deep down, I knew. As I got closer, he turned his head. And this time, he smiled. I didn't stop. Hell no. I slammed the accelerator and sped past him, my pulse racing. In the rearview mirror, I saw him still standing there, watching me. Watching. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. Because 5 minutes later, I saw him again. Same road. Same darkness. Same hitchhiker. Now, I was panicking. "This isn't real," I kept saying. I checked the GPS, still frozen. My phone. No signal. It was like I was stuck, like the road wasn't going anywhere. As I approached him for the 3rd time, he didn't put his thumb out. He just stood in the middle of the road, blocking my path. I hit the brakes hard. Tires screeching. The car stopped inches from him. He slowly walked up to my window, tapped on the glass. Tap, tap. Tap against. Every instinct screaming inside me. I rolled the window down. "Just a crack. You missed your turn," he said. My voice shook. "What turn?" He leaned in closer, and that's when I saw his face clearly. His eyes, they weren't right. Too dark. Too deep. Like there was nothing behind them. "You're not supposed to leave," he whispered. I slammed the gas. The car lurched forward, nearly hitting him as I swerved around and sped off. I didn't look back. Didn't slow down. Didn't stop driving for hours. Eventually, I hit a town. Lights. People. Civilization. I pulled into a gas station, hands shaking so bad I could barely hold the wheel. The clerk noticed. "You okay, man?" he asked. I nodded, forcing a laugh. "Yeah, just a long drive." Then I asked him something I'll never forget. "Hey, that stretch of I-80 back, there ever heard anything weird about it?" The clerk's face went pale. "You picked someone up, didn't you?" he said. I froze. "How did you cut me off?" "People talk about it all the time." Same guy. Same story. He leaned in closer. "They say it's a loop." My chest tightened. "A loop?" "Yeah," he said quietly. "You keep seeing him until you stop the 2nd time." I felt cold all over. "What happens if you stop?" The clerk didn't answer right away. He just stared at me. "Then finally, they don't come back." I never drove that road again. Never will. But sometimes, late at night, when I'm on an empty highway, I still check the side of the road, because I swear, just for a second I see him, standing there, waiting. And one day, I'm afraid I might stop. If your Uber driver ever takes a shortcut at 2:47 a.m. and your GPS suddenly goes dark, don't ask where you're going. Because if they answer, you're already the destination. It was 2:46 a.m. when I booked the ride. I remember the exact time because I hesitated before hitting confirm, like something in my gut was trying to stop me, but I ignored it. Long night. Dead phone battery. No buses running. The driver accepted instantly. Too fast. Like he'd been waiting. His name was Daniel. 4.9 rating. Black sedan. No red flags. The street outside my apartment was empty. Quiet. The kind of quiet that feels unnatural. Then the car pulled up. No headlights. I frowned. Maybe he just turned them off, I muttered. Still weird. I stepped outside. The passenger door unlocked automatically. Daniel, I asked. No response. I leaned down slightly, trying to see his face. Hey, Daniel. Then get in. His voice was low. Flat. Like it came from somewhere deep. Somewhere hollow. I should have canceled. I didn't. I got in. The second I closed the door, the locks engaged, and the car started moving. Long night? I asked, trying to sound normal. No answer. I glanced at the dashboard. No radio. No GPS screen. Just darkness. You know the address, right? I said. A pause. Then I know where you're going. Something about the way he said it made my stomach twist. We drove in silence. The city lights faded behind us. The road stretched darker. I pulled out my phone. No signal. Hey, I said. You're not going the right way. He didn't respond. Instead, he turned onto a narrow road leading into a wooded area. My heart started racing. Yo, this isn't a shortcut, I said. Turn around. Tene spoke finally. It is, he said. His eyes met mine in the rearview mirror, and I froze. They didn't reflect light at all. I reached for the door handle. Pulled. Blocked. Stop the car, I said, my voice shaking. No response. The trees closed in around us, branches scraping against the windows. The car slowed. Up ahead, a clearing, and in the center of it, another car. Parked. Engine off. Doors open. My breath caught. Why are we stopping? Daniel didn't answer. He just parked beside the other car. The engine shut off. Silence. Then, the locks disengaged. You can get out, he said. Every instinct screamed at me not to move. What is this place? I asked. He turned his head slightly. You'll see. I didn't want to, but I also didn't want to stay in that car. So I stepped out. I looked at the other car. Its interior light flickered. And that's when I saw it. Someone was inside, slumped over the steering wheel. Not moving. I stepped closer. Slowly. Hello, I called out. No response. I reached the driver's side window. Looked in. And my blood ran cold. It was me. Same face. Same clothes. Same phone in my hand. Sitting there. Dead. I stumbled back. No. No. You're late. Daniel's voice came from behind me. He was standing outside the car now, but his body didn't match his shadow. What is this? I demanded. What did you do? He tilted his head slightly. I picked you up, he said. From where? A pause. Then, from the moment you died. My mind reeled. That's not possible. Driving. The memory hit me like a crash. Headlights. A sharp turn. Impact. Sound of metal crushing. Darkness. Daniel stepped closer. You didn't call for a ride, he said softly. You were assigned one. The forest around us seemed to close in. The air thickened. Then what is this? I asked, my voice breaking. He gestured toward the car. That's what's left. Primera look at Bacan. At my own body still. Cold. Ria and me, I whispered. Danya's smile widened. You're the ride. You think you're the passenger, but you're not. He stepped closer. You're the next driver. The world seemed to tilt. Suddenly, the forest disappeared, and I was back in the driver's seat. Hands on the wheel, the engine running, the road stretching endlessly ahead. I gasped. The car, the dashboard. All familiar. Too familiar. Then, a notification appeared on the screen. New ride request. Pickup. 2 minutes away. The car started moving. On its own, toward the pickup point. And there, standing alone on the side of the road, was a person. The car pulled up. The doors unlocked, and before I could stop myself, I heard my own voice say, "Get in." I wasn't being taken somewhere. I was taking them, one ride at a time. Forever. Because some trips don't end. They just change drivers.